A young mother was found hanged in a wasteland. The police claim it was suicide, but the family are convinced the woman was murdered. Don't miss out. The psychics will expose the murderer. You are watching Psychic Investigations, a channel of true and shocking stories. Here, people who call themselves clairvoyants investigate resonant criminal cases and incredible paranormal phenomena using their supernatural abilities. Little Denis Panasenko is only 3 years old. He loves toy trains, planes, and fluffy pets.
Here's my cat, Rijik.
But most of all, the boy likes to listen to fairy tales. His mother, Lena, got him used to books from the first months of his life.
She always read him those fairy tales. She taught him everything.
However, now the boy's grandmother reads him books, as his mother has been gone for 6 months.
32-year-old Lena Panasenko disappeared under mysterious circumstances.
It was Saturday. At 4 in the afternoon, Lena went out of her apartment, where she lived with her husband. She was going to go to the village, where her mother and sisters, Alla and Yulia, live with their families. Little Denis was also in living there.
Lena decided that it would be better if he stayed with his grandmother in the village until he was about 5. She was very busy at work. She was a plasterer.
The boy's parents worked a lot, so his grandmother took care of him. On weekends, his mother came to visit him, but the final week of summer saw everything go wrong.
She phoned me in the evening and said, "Mom, I can't make it." And then she just hung up.
Lena promised to come the next day. However, Lena didn't show up even 24 hours later.
I dialed her, and after a few tones, her phone was turned off.
The woman raised the alarm. She called all of her daughter's acquaintances and friends. None of them had seen Lena. When she called her son-in-law, he was shocked to learn that his wife was not at her mother's.
The last time I saw Lena, she said she was going to her mom's. She also said she was planning to stop by her friend to get some children's clothes.
Lena's friend Liuda has a son who is a few years older than Denise, so she always gave Lena the clothes he outgrew.
She came and we had tea. And then she said, "All right, I'm off. I need to drop by the store to buy some candy for the kid, and then hurry to catch the bus."
Our journalists interviewed all the bus station employees who had a shift that day. None of them saw Lena, nor did she ever get on the bus.
The woman seemed to have vanished into thin air. Eventually, her relatives went to the police.
The major assured us my sister simply went partying somewhere and would come back soon.
The police kept assuring Lena's relatives that she would return until her body was found in a wasteland on the outskirts of the town. She was hanged on a tree.
According to the forensic examination, Lena died from asphyxiation. The official police version is suicide.
However, everyone who knew Lena is outraged by the police's version. They say she couldn't have taken her own life. She loved her son too much to do this.
There are very few mothers like her, to be honest. I will never believe she did this. Never.
But the police have their own arguments on this matter.
Visually, there were no injuries on the victim's body that would indicate a violent death.
But Lena's sisters claim they saw the traces of violence with their own eyes.
The first thing we noticed was a bruise on her arm, like clotted blood. There was also a large hematoma behind her ear.
It's quite possible that the victim was hit on the head to knock her unconscious. Then she was hanged to simulate suicide.
What scared me the most was the place where it happened.
Because it's a remote area, it's simply stupid to go all the way there to simply hang yourself. Why?
The woman was found hanged in a deserted wasteland on the other side of the town.
The investigators can't explain how she ended up there.
There is no answer to the question of where the woman's passport went either. Lena always had it with her.
There was the photocopy of the first page of Lena Panasenko's passport in her handbag, which the detectives found next to the body. But it's unclear what happened to the document itself.
There are too many questions and no answers.
But the strangest thing is not what was missing from Lena's handbag, but what was left in it.
The cards. I was shocked. She never played cards.
If the cards didn't belong to Lena, then whose were they? Could the killer have left them? But why? Did they want to say something with this? Is the woman's death somehow connected to gambling?
And the most significant inconsistency, the body was found without underwear. Although according to the forensics, Lena wasn't raped.
I asked them why she was without her underwear, but they said they didn't know and simply closed the case and said it was suicide, period.
The investigators have no answers to any of the pressing questions.
My last hope is the psychics.
The participants of our project, clairvoyants Olena Kurilova and Kayal Alekperov, took on the case.
She came while I was working with her photo, but she didn't answer any of my questions about her death. She simply lowered her gaze and remained silent.
She's ashamed of something.
Exactly, Olena. I asked her to give me at least some sign of where to look for the answer, and she showed me a small piece of paper with an eye drawn on it, resembling some kind of magical symbol. Is it possible that Lena's death was caused by some magical intervention?
You know, Kayal, while I was working with her, I saw the following. A small white house, surrounded by gravestones bearing some rune-like symbols on them.
The psychics meet with Lena's mother and sister in the downtown of the town where she lived.
Thank you very much for coming.
Mommy. Mom, I came to you. I was at yours. I stood by the window.
Yes, I remember it.
A few days ago, Denise and I were playing in the bedroom. Denise said, Grandma, someone's knocking on the window." I ran there and heard dull knocking, like a bird's.
She's trying to say something. Ma. I only hear Ma, and nothing more.
I heard a female voice saying, "There was no prayer. She was not given a proper Christian funeral."
Yes.
The priest refused to conduct a funeral service for Lena because the police concluded it was suicide. But what really happened to the young woman? Did she take her own life, or was she murdered? But who could do it, and why?
Two of Pentacles, a double game. The card of money. Money is involved in the death.
What double game could it be? And what money? Lena and her husband weren't wealthy.
I need to do a good big spread. Let's go somewhere where we can sit down.
The local cafe is not crowded in the morning, and the psychics can work calmly.
The cards say that your daughter was murdered. She's not a suicide.
I knew this all this time.
Tell me, did you notice that Lena recently seemed unlike herself? Like she became a different person?
Yes. At some point, she withdrew into herself and became very thoughtful. I saw that something was bothering her.
Is it possible that Lena had some troubles of which didn't want to tell her family to not upset them?
She said, "Oh, Ma, I can handle it myself. You don't need to worry about it."
This is word by word what she told me.
I have a feeling that Lena went to meet death for the sake of her child.
My God.
This is unbelievable. A vase of flowers stood on the table behind the psychics, and it fell suddenly.
It got smashed, but there was absolutely nobody around it.
It was a sign.
I hear your daughter. She blames her husband for her death. I feel that their relationship was on the edge.
I have a photo of her and her husband.
Yes, I'd like to see it.
They argue over the child. They had fights.
My cola was mad.
So, shortly before her death, Lena quarreled with her husband. Was she going to leave him?
It's hard to disagree that it's a serious blow to a man's dignity, and it could very well be a motive to murder his wife.
The investigators didn't check the husband's alibi, as they believed Lena hanged herself and no one was involved in her death. However, we found that on the day Lena disappeared, Mikola was at work from morning until evening. After that, he went to a bar with his friend and stayed there until 11 p.m. His friend and the bar staff confirmed this.
Let's go to the place where your daughter's body was found.
Were you there?
No, and the investigator in charge told us he didn't know where it was.
If you know at least the area where Lena was found, I will try to sense the exact place there.
Hello, I'm a representative of the local police.
When the local police learned that psychics had arrived to investigate Lena Panasenko's mysterious death, their press officer joined them.
We're also curious about what exactly happened here, so we'd like to know what the psychics think.
Overall, the energy of the place is very unpleasant. I see Lena's body to the right-hand side of the road, and there's also a small body of water, or a ditch there.
Indeed, there is such a place further down.
I see a lowland with 3 trees. Let's go.
The woman from the police does not say where exactly Lena was found hanged. She's apparently testing the psychics.
It's further that way.
Svetlana stops. It seems she's not feeling well.
Does anybody have water?
I feel like I'm being choked.
We're close now. The mother feels it.
Have some water. Exhale, like this.
Do you wish to go on?
Yes.
And there it is, the White House. I told you about it. A little White House surrounded by gravestones. Look. It's a burial site. This is a place of sacrifices. Is the cemetery Jewish?
Yes. We occasionally receive reports about damage to these tombstones.
Did she happen to practice magic?
She used to visit some old woman not far from hers, but she never explained why she went there.
Look, the magic eye.
An occult symbol. Satanists were here. Did they kill her?
Lena wasn't one of them, but she could probably be a victim of a satanic ritual.
With special ritual knives, various occult signs are carved on the body.
There were no injuries on the victim's body at all.
The family claimed they saw bruises on Lena's body, but those weren't stab wounds. The injuries like hers are not typical for ritual murders.
Why was I shown the White House and the gravestones? Perhaps it was to point me to the place of Lena's death.
Over here. She was hanging on this tree.
Yes, it's the tree. This is the place.
This is the first time Lena's mother and sister are at this tragic place, and they cannot hold back their emotions.
I love her very much. It's so hard without her.
She's grateful that you are taking care of her son.
Don't worry, Lena. Your son will stay with us.
She's nodding.
Her spirit is pointing at her throat. There's a black rope around it.
The leather strap of her purse.
The purse is in the car. We have it.
The murderer's fingerprints could very well be on the victim's bag, but the forensic experts didn't check them, as the detectives immediately concluded that there was no crime in Lena Panasenko's death.
The murderer rummaged through the bag. These are male hands. Okay, hold on. The cards? And what is this number?
It's the pawn shop's number.
We immediately checked the number. The pawn shop administrator informed us that the victim had a debt.
She had a loan to repay. They're still calling me. She left my phone number as a warranty.
She needed money. The card of money. Money is involved in the death. Numerous debts, you see? Money in the cards? Did she play cards?
No, never.
No one ever used these cards. She took this deck to do fortune telling. When you go to see a fortune teller, you must take a new, clean deck of cards. She had anxiety in her soul.
The cards and the debts are not related.
Why did she need the money?
She needed it for her son.
Was the boy sick?
He had an operation.
The women said that Lena's son, Dennis, was often ill, and the doctors were fighting a severe form of salmonellosis. The infection affected the boy's bones and joints.
He might not have been able to walk, and his arm wouldn't move. Thanks to massages, exercises, and injections, he got better.
The treatment of the boy took an entire year. All the couple's savings went to saving their son, and they eventually had to go into debt.
She could have called and told me. But no, she took the loan.
Lena owed the bank about 10,000 TS hryvnias and also borrowed 3,000 from the pawn shop. This, by the way, explains the absence of her passport. She exchanged it for money.
According to Lena's friend, she was late in repaying the debt.
It even got to the point when they told her that if she didn't pay, say 600 hryvnias, today she would have serious problems.
Lena is showing me the magic eye again.
Who has a banknote? And here is the eye.
The secret lies in the money. Olena, she's very ashamed. She's crying.
Connections with men, like love. This is the card of work. A hand giving money. I don't... Did she take money from men? For love? It was a specific kind of love. Online dating, you see.
We checked the clairvoyant's words. Through Lena's mobile phone number, we found her secret page on social media and read one of the chats there. What we found there is deeply shocking.
Price? How much per hour do you want? I don't have a rate. I need money badly. Open for offers. How old are you? Will 400 UAH be enough? Would you like to repeat the paid date? I have a guy who wants you. Can I see his photo first? I don't want to run into someone I know.
From the text of the chat, it's clear that Lena was arranging a sex date for money. And there are lots of similar chats there. But on the day of her disappearance, she had a meeting with only one person and even told her friend Liuda about it.
She said she'd met a man online, and his name was Serhi. I asked her where he lived. She said near the train station. We had this conversation literally on the eve of her disappearance.
She was engaged in prostitution, and she didn't want you to know about it. She was ashamed of this, but she needed money desperately.
It was a mind-blowing revelation. And I felt all of her inner pain so deeply.
On her last day of life, she was in this place with a client.
For several days, our journalists interviewed everyone who appeared in this area until we finally found a witness, a man who often goes fishing at the local lake.
I remember her, such a tall, eye-catching girl. I saw her there near the quarry. She was with a guy. They were on the shore. They were sitting and hugging.
We asked her, how did you die? And she said, I don't know. I only remember the man's hands on my neck.
She was hit on the back of the head and fainted. Then the murderer put the bag strap around her neck and strangled her. Perhaps the man did this to avoid paying for sex. Then he staged the suicide to mislead the investigation.
No one expected such an ending. The good wife and caring mother, Lena Panasenko, paid with her life for the money she was collecting to pay for her son's treatment. She tried to earn the necessary amount at her official job. She worked overtime, but her salary wasn't enough. The boy's father helped very little, so Lena had to find the money in another way.
Our investigators will take everything the psychic said into account. We will check the people who could be involved in this act in accordance with the law.
She suffered alone in her trouble, but when you have trouble, you need to go to your family, your father and mother. You can always find a way out if there is someone to support and help you.
A few days later, Lena's relatives called our editorial office and told us that the priest considered everything the psychic said and agreed to perform the funeral service. The stigma of suicide was finally removed from Lena Panasenko, a shocking death of a young man. His mother found him hanged from a dog's chain. Was it suicide or a brutal murder? Don't miss out. The psychics will uncover a chilling secret. There are always fresh flowers on this grave. This woman, Maria Tishuk, brings them almost every day. Now, this is the only place where she can visit her son, Tolik. 4 years ago, she found him hanged by a dog's chain.
I don't want to live. When he died, I died too.
Tolik was only 27. He lived in a small Ukrainian village and worked in retail as a sales consultant. He was cheerful, kind, and full of life. But one autumn day, that life was tragically cut short.
It was here, on this property, that local resident Tolik Poberezhny was found dead at the age of 27.
The house had been a gift from Maria's brother, Kirilo, 7 years earlier. Having moved to another city and with no children of his own, he gifted his house to his nephew. Tolik started renovating it, hoping to build a family and make his mother proud with grandchildren.
I dropped by and asked, "What are you doing, Tolik?" He said he was renovating it to marry and live here. He was a good guy, a kind soul.
But the house of his dreams became the place of his death.
Tolik's mother found his body. When she entered the yard, she saw a dog chain trailing toward the summer kitchen. The chain was tied to a wire stretched between a utility building and the house. When she approached the kitchen and looked inside,
He was just sitting in the pit. The noose was right here.
The official cause of death was mechanical asphyxia, strangulation. According to the police, Tolik removed the chain from the dog, put the collar around his own neck, and jumped into the pit.
Tears are more common now than joy. I just don't want to go on.
The grieving mother believes the police version. Her once lively and happy son had become quiet and withdrawn not long before it happened. She even felt that something was about to happen.
Before my son died, our dog, Baikal, howled non-stop.
And 2 months before the tragedy, she began having strange dreams.
For 3 nights in a row, I saw a woman. She reached out her hand and said, "Give me Tolik." I shouted, "No, I won't. He's mine. Leave." And she disappeared. The second night, it repeated. On the third night, a man appeared. He stretched out his arms and said, "Give me your son."
And on the night before the tragedy, Maria woke up and saw something truly horrifying.
The night before he died, I opened my eyes, and there were 2 shining eyes staring at me. I said, "Oh my God," and turned on the light, but no one was there.
And the next day, she found her son hanging from a noose. For the past 4 years, Maria has believed his death was the work of something mystical. An otherworldly entity forced him to end his life.
It hurts so much. I can't find peace. This pain, it's never ending. Some nights I can't sleep at all.
This grief has lived in her for 4 years. More than anything, Maria wishes to understand what force took her son's life and why. So she's asking the people with extraordinary abilities for help.
I want Yaroslava Fedorova to come and help me figure this out.
There's an energy of deep fear coming from his photo. It's apparent the man was terrified before his death. It feels like someone was pursuing him. I wonder who it might be. I can't quite explain it. It's like a three-headed dog, like Cerberus. His death, it feels planned. Like it was caused by something truly terrifying and evil.
Was Tolik's death premeditated? What was this powerful force Yaroslava describes, and why did it take him?
He was so kind and caring. He always joked he was the heart of the party.
He was a good guy, quiet and calm.
Yaroslava will investigate the case alongside her colleague, Olena Kurilova.
Olena, I think we shouldn't waste time. Let's go straight to the site.
The mother greets the psychics at the very house where she once dreamed of visiting her son and future grandchildren. However, now it reminds her only of tragedy. The poor woman can barely keep herself together, unable to say a word.
Wait. Is this where you found him?
Yes, that's right.
There were injuries to his face, bruises, and so on.
Around his neck, it was like canvas. Like a canvas dog collar.
Yes, a collar. There was a clothesline and then a chain. The door was shut. I thought, why is the chain there? Then I tugged on the chain 3 or 4 times. I thought maybe the dog had jumped and gotten tangled, but when I got closer...
He was tied to the chain.
Yes.
Wearing the collar?
Yes. I shouted, Tolik, no! No, my son, no! I jumped in and undid it. I threw away the collar. I tried to do mouth to mouth. I couldn't do it. I couldn't start his heart. Forgive your mother, son. If I'd come sooner, maybe I could have saved him. I have 3 degrees in construction, medicine, and teaching, but I still couldn't bring him back. Forgive me, son.
It's hard to watch this. Maria spent over 10 years working in a kindergarten, then as a nurse in a therapy ward. She spent her life helping others, but couldn't save her own son.
Maria, please calm down.
But what really happened on that tragic autumn day? Did Tolik truly take his own life? Or did someone push him into it? And who were those figures in Maria's dreams who came to take her son?
I feel like something is always walking around here. Some kind of creature, a presence. And it's watching. He was being watched, constantly. I could feel eyes on my back. I didn't know who was watching, but one thing was clear. A vicious, dark force dragged Tolik to the other side.
But what is this force Yaroslava mentioned? And how is it linked to Tolik's death?
I think we need to go to the cemetery.
The clairvoyants head to the cemetery with Maria. What will they sense there? Was it truly suicide, or did someone else play a part in Tolik's death?
My dear son, your mom is here. Forgive me, I didn't save you.
It turns out that on that tragic day, Tolik left in the morning to visit his friend.
I said, son, stay home, watch some TV. But he said, I'll be right back. And so he left around 9 or 10 a.m.
Our detective found that friend.
The victim's friend, Victor, lived just a few streets away. He's currently working in another city. Over the phone, he told us that Tolik came by around noon. They talked for about an hour. Tolik said he was heading home to continue renovating the house his uncle had gifted him.
Tolik planned to clean up the yard that day. Meanwhile, Maria was at home doing chores. She could never have imagined that just hours later, she'd find her son dead.
I had this gut feeling that I had to go find him. Something pushed me to look, but I didn't do it.
Maria, let us work. Please. Let go of the cross for a moment. Please.
Forgive me. Forgive me, forgive me. My son. I loved him. My golden boy. My son. My beloved son.
Maria has 2 other sons. Serhii is older and Victor is younger. Tolik was her middle son. After things fell apart with her husband, she raised her children on her own. Serhii and Victor moved to the city, and only Tolik stayed by her side.
What I saw at Tolik's grave shocked me. His spirit was yelling, "They killed me! They killed me! They killed me!" And he showed me a vision of him being beaten and mocked, and then the collar was fastened around his neck.
They beat him badly. I believe this was a violent death. He didn't take his own life.
This is incomprehensible. Maria was convinced her son took his own life. Was she wrong all along? And if so, who killed Tolik? And why?
From what we know, the forensics found the following injuries on Tolik Poberezhny's body. 3 abrasions on his right hand, a scratch on the lower third of his left thigh, and another abrasion on the back of his left hand. All of these injuries were inflicted while he was still alive. This means Tolik either got hurt while being forcibly thrown into the cellar, or he somehow fell in on his own and was injured that way.
But why would Tolik jump into the pit? And why did he choose such a bizarre method of suicide by fastening a dog's collar around his neck?
I have no doubt he was murdered. And the eyes Olena and I kept seeing, the ones always watching Tolik, those were his killer's eyes. He was being watched constantly.
According to Victor, Tolik had recently become fearful. He spoke to friends less and rarely went out. And a week before his death, he gave his phone to his mother, saying he didn't need it. But Maria remembers a strange phone call a few days before his death.
A man called asking where Tolik was. I said he'd given me his phone. Then he mumbled something like, "Oh, did he go somewhere?" I asked, "Would you like me to tell him something?" But he hung up immediately. The voice was young.
Was it just a friend calling, or Tolik's future killer?
I clearly sensed that Tolik met his murderers right in the house where he was found hanged. So, Yaroslava and I decided to go back there immediately.
I had a vision. They were beating him, mocking him, and calling him vile names. And then they tied him up like a dog.
Tolik was found seated in the cellar of the summer kitchen, wearing a dog collar. This is very strange and looks like a murder with the purpose of showing or proving something.
I believe this was about money. It feels like he got tangled in something shady.
He was such a kind soul. He never hurt anyone. If someone needed help, he was the first to show up. Aunt Vera might ask him to shovel manure or dig the garden, and he'd go and do it. He was just that kind of person.
I think he used to live in the city for a bit, working in small-scale trade, renting an apartment.
It turns out Tolik often traveled to work in a city 200 kilometers from his village.
We worked in the marketplace selling mobile top-up cards and office supplies. We sold things.
But how does all this tie into Tolik's death? Who killed him and why?
There, do you see it? An A on the wall.
Indeed, an A. It wasn't there before.
It just manifested.
He's speaking to us. He wants us to enter the house.
That letter A. It's A for Tolik, my son. It's a miracle. A miracle. We've been here so many times. No one could have drawn that.
This is unbelievable. What else will the psychics uncover? What is Tolik trying to say? Could he be trying to point to his murderer?
A ring from a young woman. It was pawned for money. What's that ring?
It happened in the city.
What is the mysterious ring the psychics speak of? And what role did it play in Tolik's death?
I see an apartment, some rooms and beds, 2 guys and 2 girls. There's a fight about money. You're indebted. Why did you take my ring? Buy me a new ring.
Yes, I heard about that. He told me.
According to Tolik's mother, he and his brother went to work in the city for a month. While there, they searched for an apartment to rent. They met 2 girls at the market, also looking for a place to stay.
The girls were both 20 and also arrived to do seasonal work. The 4 of them decided to rent an apartment together, as it was cheaper that way. But soon, trouble started. The girls stopped paying rent.
Tolik paid the rent. He bought the food. Finally, he had enough and took one of the girls' rings.
According to Tolik's brother, he pawned the gold ring and used the money to pay the rent. The girl was furious and, seeking revenge, called her friends. However, their identities remain unknown.
Those guys came and took his passport.
Then they told him, "Now you owe us even more. That ring wasn't enough. Return the ring and pay extra."
According to Victor, he witnessed everything but could do nothing. Soon after, the men gave Tolik an ultimatum.
They told him to bring them a few thousand to get his passport back.
Could this conflict be the reason behind Tolik's death?
Victor says that after the threats began, he and Tolik called their older brother, Serhiy. Serhiy is a lawyer in Kyiv. When he found out about the trouble, he contacted the people who were threatening Tolik. He promised to return the ring to its owner. According to the family, the matter was resolved. Tolik got his passport back. The conflict was settled.
There was a money dispute, yes, but those weren't the people who killed your son. Those were others.
But if the people who threatened Tolik weren't involved in his death, then who killed him? And why?
The force that killed him was the force of vengeance. Someone wanted to humiliate and punish Tolik, and money was indeed involved.
He was being watched, and not by just one person. Shortly before his death, he got involved with some people and borrowed money from them.
His mother said that a month before his death, Tolik bought a new TV and materials for the renovation. He usually earned about 1,000 hryvnias a month, which he gave to his mother. When she asked where he got the extra money, he said he was taking side jobs, but never said where or how.
If he had a bit of extra money, he'd say, "Mom, I've got a little cash. Do you want me to buy something?"
He borrowed money a few times, but didn't pay it back.
There's something else.
They treated him like a dog on a leash.
A debt. You're a dog, then you get a dog's death. This was a punishment.
Yes.
Was Tolik truly murdered over a debt?
I always told my kids, never steal. You must work. If the money is tight, borrow some and repay later.
Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 people.
We found a neighbor who saw 4 strangers enter Tolik's yard.
4 guys came in and started beating him. I hid behind the bushes. They dragged him by the arms and legs. I nearly fainted. It was so terrifying that I shudder thinking of it. I still remember it. I was so scared.
The woman says she was so terrified for her own life to even call the police.
Your son was killed over debt.
He deceived them. He borrowed money, but had no way to repay it. He never paid back.
But why didn't they come to me? They could have told me. I would have sold the cow or something else.
I think they simply didn't know about you. He took the money as an independent adult, you know?
I would have paid it back. I would have sold everything we had to save him.
Tolik wanted to help his family and build a home of his own. But he didn't have enough money, so he borrowed it from the wrong people, and they decided to punish him.
The locals say there were indeed rumors about Tolik's debts circulating around the village.
People said he owed money to someone.
It is possible indeed. In the criminal world, debtors who don't repay what they borrow are punished.
But what were those mysterious dreams Maria had before her son's death, and the force the psychics sensed at the beginning of the investigation?
Her dreams were visits from the spirits of her loved ones. They were trying to warn her that Tolik might soon be taken away. And those terrifying glowing eyes were the eyes of death, the same force that took away her son.
They came in a light-colored car. The license plate had the numbers 0 and 2.
That day, we saw a car with strangers inside. They were hanging around near Tolik's place.
One of them had a crooked nose, like a boxer, black hair cropped at the bottom and slicked to the side on top. But he wasn't alone.
I sense 4 people.
We passed this information on to the police in the hope that the psychic's insights might help identify Tolik's killers.
I believe justice will prevail, and those people will be punished. I feel a bit lighter now. Thank you. I'm very grateful to the psychics for uncovering the truth. Now I know he was murdered. My son had no reason to take his own life.
An unknown supernatural force is terrorizing a family. But can the psychics stop it once they uncover the family's darkest secret? Ukraine, a small village in the countryside. Suddenly, strange and mystical events began happening in the home of 48-year-old Svetlana Zanochkina.
I hear voices and doors open and close on their own. At night, something disturbs me. I can't see what it is, but it pulls the blanket off me.
Svetlana lives with a large family, her daughter Marina and her husband, her son Serhiy with his family, and 5 grandchildren. All of them say they witness inexplicable things almost every day.
My grandson said when he went to get hay, he heard someone calling, "Tolik, Tolik."
Yes. I got here and heard the quiet voice repeating, "Tolik!"
Got scared. He's even afraid to go to the bathroom at home. That's how strong his fear is.
The family says they not only hear voices and noises, but also see strange shadows and figures.
The dog started barking, so I looked out the window and saw a man in black. He was wearing a hood. Like this. No face at all.
I felt a cold stare from over there. I turned around, and there was a silhouette. I didn't panic and said, "I'll start reading prayers." But time passed, and I looked out that window, and there it was again. Green eyes and a twisted, disfigured face.
What's happening in this household? To find out, Svetlana sent a photo of her home to the psychics.
I saw the way Zhana Shulikova works. I like her approach, so I'd like her to come.
Looking at this photo, I see a vivid image of a cemetery. I see a grave. There's a girl standing over the grave. She's terrified of the person buried there. She's afraid they'll rise the grave. Then I see stakes being driven into the grave.
Medium Dilaram Saparova joins Jana in the investigation.
I see a little boy. There's a man and a woman yelling at him, and then they start beating him. And then I see the boy has hanged himself. How awful.
When the psychics arrive, Svetlana is already waiting for them.
Hello.
Thank you for coming. Strange things are happening in our home. We believe it's some kind of mystical force that's making life here unbearable. I feel cold breathing in the house.
Like frost coming off of it?
Yes. I'm not the only one. My daughter-in-law feels it too.
I was sitting on the couch, speaking to Mom, when suddenly, something breathed right in my face. It was cold, like from outside, but the windows weren't open, and the fan wasn't running.
To understand what was going on, we decided to scan the energy of the house, the yard, and its owners.
Are you feeling unwell?
Yes.
Easy. Easy now. She's about to faint.
I couldn't breathe. Everything went dark. I'd had this before, but never this strong.
15 minutes later, Svetlana gradually recovered, and the psychics continued the investigation.
What room is this?
The kitchen.
Do you have a basin?
Yes.
The spirits are asking me for water, so I can see through the water. I'm seeing a vision of a boy.
Not a boy, an adult man dead.
Yes, dead.
The psychic's visions differ. Dilaram previously saw a boy in a photo of the house. Who is he? And what man is Jana talking about?
I saw a disturbing, horrifying vision. In it, the man was dismembered, piece by piece, and I felt he was directly connected to what's happening in Svetlana's home.
My husband was hit by a train.
It turned out 6 years ago, Svetlana's husband, Serhiy, was struck by a train. He was supposedly crouched on the tracks in a poorly lit area. The driver spotted him too late to brake.
The man had left for work. He was a mechanic at the local brick factory, but for some reason, he ended up on the tracks. No one understands how or why it happened.
I see him in my dreams. He once told me he'd been murdered.
What really happened to Svetlana's husband? Could his death be connected to the paranormal activity in their home? The site of the tragedy is just 2 kilometers away, at a railroad crossing. The psychics head there immediately.
He's sitting here. He can't hear anything.
He saw and heard nothing.
The forensics found no alcohol or other toxins in Serhiy Zanochkin's body.
And the train is approaching.
And in that final moment, he's blinded by the train's headlight.
I hear the impact.
As a train approaches, you would not just hear the noise, but also feel a powerful vibration. It would usually trigger an instinct to move away from the source. So Serhiy, sitting on the tracks, was likely in some unnatural state. Otherwise, he would have instinctively tried to escape.
Could the source of the poltergeist activity in the Zanochkin home be Svetlana's deceased husband? But what message is he trying to send by frightening the entire family?
Some unseen force pushed this man toward the train. He didn't do it himself. And I started to think it was the same force that was disturbing Svetlana, preventing her from living in peace. But you weren't living with your husband.
No, or he left.
Svetlana admitted that 6 months before his death, they'd had a falling out. She says he got tired of her and found another woman. On the last day of his life, he came to reconcile, but was acting strangely.
He came to our daughter's birthday. We were sitting at the table. He said, "Make a wish." I wished for us to make peace and live happily. He said, "I want to make peace too for the sake of our grandkids, the children, for a calm life." Then he just stared out the window. It gave me chills.
Like a zombie.
He was not himself. I still don't know what was wrong with him.
Serhiy's death was definitely tied to otherworldly forces. I saw an eerie, terrifying doll. It looked like a voodoo doll, and it was in a strange apartment. A woman had made it.
That's my parents' apartment.
Astonishingly, about 12 years ago, Svetlana and her husband lived with her parents in a town 4 kilometers away. There, she once found a doll made of wire and thread.
We found it inside the couch. It was tightly wrapped in red thread and had no head.
Did someone wish Svetlana harm and plant the strange doll so it eventually led to her husband's death? But who would do such a thing, and why?
I decided to perform a ritual. There's something grotesque there. It's a voodoo doll. Someone made it, and now people are dying. It killed your father.
Both my parents died.
Svetlana says her mother was a healthy woman, but when she was 60, she suddenly developed multiple illnesses.
It happened so quickly. Her leg swelled badly, and then her organs began to fail. Her heart was very enlarged, but the doctors couldn't explain the cause.
3 years after her mother's death, Svetlana's father also passed away. The cause was a trophic ulcer resulting from varicose vein complications. But what does this all mean? Could someone truly be using dark magic to wipe out Svetlana's entire family?
We need to go to the apartment where you found the doll. The curse was aimed at your mother because of the man she married. I saw an old woman. It was Svetlana's grandmother, her father's mother. She hated her daughter-in-law, and she created the doll to eliminate her.
Svetlana confirmed that relations between her mother and grandmother were bad.
My grandmother, Maria, never liked my mom. She always criticized her whole life.
Svetlana says her grandmother had a strange friend named Lida, who was rumored to practice magic.
The curse was only directed at your mother. It had nothing to do with the man who died on the railway tracks. That is, your husband. The woman got what she wanted. Svetlana's mother died. But her father passed away from grief after losing his wife. But what kind of force pushed Svetlana's husband onto the tracks? And what force is now wreaking havoc in her home?
You have a daughter, right?
Yes.
Where is she?
In the village.
Your daughter is hiding something from you.
She's never hidden anything from me.
I see it clearly. She's definitely hiding something.
The psychics returned to the Zanichkin family home, where the investigation began.
Hello.
Hello.
What's your name?
Marina.
Did you kill him?
It's unbelievable. Is Serhi's daughter involved in his death?
Did you kill him?
She didn't, Dilaram. She killed him in her thoughts.
You constantly wished he would die. You didn't want him to live. You harbored a deep resentment.
Yes, I had those thoughts.
But why would a daughter wish death upon her own father?
I'm seeing the images. She was crying, completely beaten.
Then Marina revealed something truly horrifying. Since she was little, her father brutally punished her for any mistake. And then, one night, something happened that she can never forget.
I was 13. At 2 in the morning, he came and beat me nearly to death. He looked into my underwear. He looked into my bra. Every night, he would do those things to me. What kind of feelings do you think I had for my own father?
It turns out Serhi was an alcoholic, and once he got drunk, he became a violent monster.
He would beat my head and stomach, and then say, "God forbid you tell your mother, or I'll kill you."
Did you know this?
I did. I complained, but nothing happened. The police couldn't help.
Couldn't you just kick him out?
We did kick him out. He threatened us with a knife. What he did to us was terrifying.
And you, as her mother, couldn't do anything?
He said he'd kill her and send the kids away somewhere.
What do you mean, kill her?
He said, I'll kill her, and the kids will go live with their grandmother.
It's hard to even imagine what Marina endured. But the worst part is that even after her father's death, she still fears him. Could it be that he's the force tormenting the family from beyond the grave?
I sense him often, especially near my brother. I know his smell, and I constantly sense the smell.
When I worked with the letter, I saw a grave. And then I heard a terrible scream. It felt like something was being driven into a heart.
Yes, I drove aspen stakes so he couldn't rise from the dead.
Into the grave?
After he was buried, I placed them in the shape of a cross.
You mean you were afraid he'd get out of the grave and come back?
I could still hear him.
Even after her father's death, Marina was so haunted by fear she couldn't live in peace.
That fear never leaves me.
To rid herself of it, Marina didn't go to a therapist, but to a local sorcerer, who gave her specific instructions.
He said, take aspen stakes and drive them into his heart. So we went. I made a cross, and when I tried to strike the heart, the ground beneath me shook. I trembled all over from fear, and then I heard a groan.
Could what's happening in Svetlana's house truly be connected to her late husband? And what force drove him to sit on the tracks and wait for death?
I clearly felt the death of a little boy. He was thin, frail, and small. He's crying. Why are you crying?
A little boy.
His age is...
He's little, Dilaram.
Under 13.
He drove my brother to the grave.
It turned out Serhiy was Svetlana's second husband. From her first marriage, she had a son named Vitaly. When she remarried, his stepfather despised him.
He abused him badly. He beat him so hard his backside turned black and blue. And one day, he couldn't take it anymore.
The tragedy happened 20 years ago. The Zanichkin family had traveled to visit their relatives in another region. There, in a barn, they found 13-year-old Vitaly hanged.
Something pulled me toward the barn. I opened the door, and there he was, hanging. I tried to take him out of the noose, but I couldn't.
Honestly, I didn't want to live anymore. But one thing saved me. I got pregnant with my son right after we buried Vitaly.
Marina says the man tormented her brother so cruelly, the boy began to dream of death.
He talked about death ever since preschool. At his funeral, even the teachers said so.
How could a child want to live when he's being torn to pieces?
I know. I lived through it. And I stayed silent.
Why?
I was afraid.
Afraid of whom?
Him. Because he would punch me and kick me.
Who were you afraid of?
Him!
She's just a child, like the boy who hanged himself. What the hell are you screaming at her for?
I've cried all my life. Please help us find some way to let this go.
The boy, you must ask him for forgiveness.
You're the woman who drove your son to the grave with your own hands. How can she live with it? You can never atone for such a sin. And then to become pregnant by the very man who did this? 2 months after Vitaly's death?
It took a long time to calm Dilaram Saparova. Half an hour passed before she could resume the investigation.
I'm continuing this because there are other children here.
But how does Vitaly's suicide relate to the paranormal events in Svetlana's home and her husband's death?
The boy was betrayed. He saw something. He told his mother something and asked her, "Mom, don't tell Dad."
On the last day of his life, the boy accidentally saw his stepfather with another woman. He told his mother immediately, but instead of leaving the man, Svetlana told her husband what her son had seen.
I had his consent to do it. I said, let's tell him. And if he starts hitting you, we'll leave and go live with Grandma.
He was terrified to be alone with that man. He was afraid he'd be killed.
She drove her own son to the grave with her own hands. Do you understand you killed your son?
What can I say? No one else has lived in my shoes.
How do you even go on living after this?
If it was my family and someone abused my child, I would never ask that man to come back.
I did it for my younger son. I had another boy, do you understand this? I made that wish that our family could stay together. We had children and grandchildren. He promised he'd change. I always hoped things might be different.
After his death, Vitaly became furious and restless. He drove his stepfather mad, and now he's behind the poltergeist terrorizing this house. Because you can't abuse a child.
It's terrifying. I remember all of it.
She's lying. She doesn't understand a damn thing. Not a single tear on her face.
He just wants to be loved. That's why he keeps appearing.
I couldn't even begin to imagine that my own brother could be the one who's angry.
You must ask the boy for forgiveness.
Tell me how. What do we do?
When you go to the cemetery, when you go to church, when you celebrate something at home, always do it with him.
Vitaly, my sweet boy, I'll do what's right. I'll never forget you. We're grateful for everything.
I finally feel some relief. The psychics helped me understand why all of this happened. I'm so grateful they helped us see the mistake we failed to notice.
A phone call from beyond. A mysterious voice commanded a young girl to hang herself. Don't miss it. Psychics uncover a chain of chilling deaths. But will they manage to stop the killer? Ukrainian woman Natalia Psycho lives with her husband and their 9 children in a small village. The population here is just 200 people. The Psychos are a typical countryside family. They earn a living selling homegrown vegetables and milk. Life was peaceful and harmonious until last year, when everything was shattered by a terrifying incident.
Such fear I can't even describe it.
One of their daughters, 13-year-old Marina, disappeared without a trace. That day, the girl, along with her 3 sisters and 5 brothers, had helped their parents with the chores. They fed the chickens and ducks, milked the cow, had dinner together, and went to bed. But Natalia, as if sensing trouble, couldn't sleep. She peeked into the children's room and froze in horror. Her middle daughter's bed was empty.
I didn't even hear her leave the house. I immediately started calling her. I called her all night.
She sounded the alarm at once and woke her husband. Together, they searched for the child, asking neighbors, walking through the streets, checking every corner. But the girl was nowhere to be found.
She never went anywhere. To clubs or anything. She just didn't.
All night long, the parents searched the village with tears in their eyes. They were in shock. Their daughter had never gone missing before. She always came home from school on time, spent her evenings reading or helping around the house.
She's such a simple child.
Only at 5 in the morning, when Natalia dialed her daughter's number for like the 100th time, she finally heard her voice. But the girl couldn't explain where she was or what had happened. Natalia turned on the outside light, hoping it would help her daughter find her way back.
She says, I can't walk. I quickly turned on the porch light and said, Can you see the light? She says, I can see it. I told her, just come home. Don't hang up. Keep talking to me.
Within minutes, the girl was standing at the gate. But her mother says she was unrecognizable, pale as death, barely able to speak. Terrified, the parents brought her inside and tried to find out what had happened. Marina could only remember that in the night, she'd gotten a call from an unknown number.
I answered, and they said, You need to go and hang yourself.
I found a shoelace on her. She was scared, crying. It was like she went into a panic attack.
Who called her? A man or a woman? The girl couldn't say. Neither did she know where she went after that. Marina says she was asleep, and then suddenly she woke up and realized she was outside with a noose around her neck.
Someone called her and told her to hang herself. That would bring terrible grief to the family.
The girl was threatened. They said her entire family would be killed if she didn't take her own life. Natalia was so terrified for her daughter that she grabbed the phone and smashed it against the wall. The device survived, but the SIM card broke. So, to this day, she doesn't know who called that night.
I have children too, and it's terrifying to think that such thoughts could ever be in their heads.
Natalia turned to the police, but they just shrugged, told her to come back if something actually happened. But she refuses to just sit and wait for tragedy to strike. She's hoping the psychics can uncover who's trying to push her daughter Marina toward suicide and threatening the lives of her entire family. Natalia reached out to two clairvoyants, shaman Marina Komushku and British medium Anna Galliers.
I had a terrifying dream. It was night. I was walking down an abandoned street, no one around. Silence. Then suddenly this loud sound rang out like the tolling of chimes, and people appeared out of nowhere. They were dead. And they seemed to say, "We need to finish it quickly. We need to hammer the nails, bring the planks. We don't have enough people."
It's strange, but I see men. A lot of them. Wearing work clothes. They're building something. Maybe stairs, maybe a slide. But they're all frustrated, constantly complaining. They're dead. But how is it even possible for the dead to be working?
Hello.
Hello. My name is Natalia.
The moment we approached the woman, it felt like someone grabbed my shoulders. But no one was there, except Marina and Natalia. May we speak with your daughter?
Yes.
Hi, Marina. I can feel you're very worried.
Mom, what is this?
Something's wrong with her. She's not well. Go inside.
It feels like there's some kind of otherworldly force standing beside Marina, controlling her like a puppet.
What is the clairvoyant sensing? Could the girl be hiding something?
I see a girl who's not confrontational at all, and I can't understand who would wish her harm.
Wait, I can feel something over there. I'm seeing an image. Your daughter is standing right here with a noose around her neck.
Incredible. The clairvoyants have come to the exact spot where Marina nearly ended her life.
It feels like someone pushed your child to this place.
Marina doesn't remember anything. Maybe someone threatened her, then brought her to the apiary and forced her to hang herself. But who?
Then I felt that the hand which had been on my shoulder grabbed me and started pulling me somewhere.
As the psychics tuned in, night fell over the village.
I realized it's not a human trying to kill this girl. It's a presence from the other side.
It's impossible to believe. After all, the girl insists it was a living person who called her. She just doesn't remember whether the voice was a male or female.
I see a man near the girl.
He's in the world of the dead. For some reason, he's sitting and crying. He wants to take his daughter.
He was the one who lured the girl to the apiary to hang herself.
Who is the clairvoyant talking about?
I feel drawn to go there. I'm being drawn here by the energy of a blood relative. I think it's your brother. Horrible. There's a noose on him.
He's hanging here.
I see a terrified woman. It looks like she found him. This is his wife.
Anton's widow is also named Natalia. She's 33 and vividly remembers the dreadful winter day when she discovered her husband dead.
I thought he was just standing there, but it turned out he was already hanging.
That morning, he was in good spirits. By evening, he was gone. No one could understand why he chose to end his life.
someone called him before he died. Right after the call, he walked out here. Natalia's brother was also taken by a dark force, but why? And where did it come from?
Natalia says her brother did get a phone call before his death, then left the house like he was in a trance.
We thought he was still on the phone.
Soon after, Anton was gone. His phone was found next to him, but strangest of all incoming calls had been erased. Terrifying. Natalia's daughter also received a mysterious call. Is it just a coincidence or some mysticism?
I see another relative of yours in the attic under the roof. He also had a noose around his neck.
That was my cousin.
He was cheerful, the life of the party.
Yes, that's right.
Then suddenly a noose around his neck. No clear reason.
I feel someone also called him before he died. This is truly disturbing.
After a strange call, Serhiy left home without saying a word and took his own life. His phone was later found broken, and no numbers remained on the SIM card. It's all very strange. Every one of the victims had received a call before their death, but it's impossible to trace. Either the numbers disappear or the phone stops working.
One and the same supernatural force is behind the deaths in Natalia's family, but its true nature still had to be uncovered.
The father of your daughter also hanged himself. I clearly saw a noose. I thought he was dead.
He's alive. He tried to hang himself, but I saved him.
Natalia says her husband had tried to take his life more than once, just like with their daughter Marina. He received a phone call, but he couldn't recall who it was or what they said.
I asked him, "Why are you trying to hang yourself?" But he gave me no answer.
They couldn't identify the caller. Could it really be a dark force trying to wipe out Natalia's whole family?
Each one got a call before their death. Now I understand the person calling is temporarily possessed by the dead. The phone becomes a channel to issue the command to hang oneself. That's how they lure people to the other side. Suddenly I had a vision. I saw Marina with a noose around her neck surrounded by figures. They were dead souls. These spirits come to Natalia's loved ones. Then they hang themselves. The dead are waiting to take them with them.
What souls is the medium talking about, and why do they want Natalia's loved ones dead?
Something is pulling me by the hand. It's the spirit of a boy. We have to go. The spirit told me his death is connected to the deaths in Natalia's family. He wants to show me the place where he died.
The psychics arrived at the dryer. That's what locals call the old hay-drying barn for livestock. It's abandoned now.
He's pulling me inside. I see how he died. It's like he's hypnotized. He walks in, stands right here, puts a noose around his neck. Oh my God. He hangs himself too.
Natalia remembered, 14 years ago, a local young man was found dead in this very spot. His name was Oleksiy. He had just turned 21.
I see he was cheerful too. He didn't seem suicidal at all. What's going on here?
Yes.
It's horrifying.
Locals say they still don't understand why the young man took his own life. But how is his death connected to Natalia's family? What kind of force is claiming their lives? And now threatens a 13-year-old girl?
I see another man. It's like a whole village of the hanged.
Yeah, people hang themselves a lot here.
Phantoms swinging from ropes.
Then it hit me. These spirits seem to hypnotize the living. They call and give a command to go hang themselves. And the person, not understanding anything, just follows the order.
It turns out the villagers have long feared that their siblings, children, spouses, anyone could end up in a noose at any moment.
Mostly it's young people taking their lives. Many have hanged themselves in this village.
And it'll keep going. But what's pushing them to do this? What's the reason?
Now I see a crowd. They're being herded somewhere. Their clothes are strange, old-fashioned. No one wears that now. I hear gunshots. Bullets hit their heads, their chests. They drop like wheat being cut down. This was war. So much blood was spilled.
During the war, they brought Jews from the entire district here. The Germans shot them.
Around 1,000 Jews became Holocaust victims in this area. They were executed in the village.
Many were buried all together in one place.
Since World War II, there's been a mass grave of murdered Jews in the village.
2 years ago, they started digging a sand quarry there. Sand was dumped along with bones. Clearly human remains.
These were the remains of those innocently executed.
When they were disturbed, they became angry.
Desecrating graves is a great sin. After something like that, a wave of suicides could really follow.
Horrifying. Could it be that by disturbing the mass grave, villagers offended the souls of the dead, and that's why they're taking the living?
But something changed. I see a monument, like a memorial in honor of these people.
They put up a cross there.
To honor the memory of the victims, villagers placed a cross at the site around 3 years ago. Every year, they bring flowers and pay tribute to the innocent victims of the war.
That calmed the angry spirits. But the suicides didn't start right after the mass killings. They began much later, 10 or 20 years afterward.
We spoke with local elders and learned the suicides in the village truly began in the 1960s. No one could explain it. People would wake in the middle of the night, leave their homes, and be found hanged by morning.
In that moment, I received the same vision as before our investigation. Men building something. All of them are dead. Spirits are gathering here. There are many of them. One spirit stepped forward, the same one that guided us all day today. He wants to say something. The spirits are holding tools in their hands. One of them says they must build something.
Hammers, logs. It's like a command.
Let's go, right now.
Where are the psychics heading? What did they sense?
It sounded like knocking from the other side. I realized it was the noise of those souls gathering here. They're building something, just as in my vision. And importantly, all these people are former villagers.
Oh my goodness.
These spirits are enraged. They don't want us in this building, especially the one who's their leader.
This man says, I am needed here. In life, he worked in construction.
That man also hanged himself, and before that, in a dream, he was called to the other world. Then I understood. The force that has accompanied us all day is the spirit of the lead man in this so-called spirit crew. In life, he was a foreman, and that's why he was summoned to the other side.
Incredible as it sounds, we located the brigade leader's relative. She recalls visiting him one evening when someone called. He stepped outside and was later found in the yard, hanged. The number that called him, like the others, wasn't saved.
Before he went out that night, my niece's husband dreamt that he needed another foreman for them. He was the foreman of a construction crew. That night, he was gone.
Horror. What is happening in this village? Are all the residents doomed?
I see a black river.
This isn't an ordinary river. It's the boundary between the world of the living and the dead. I see souls crossing from one bank to the other.
I also see a boat where God's messenger ferries the dead across this river. Many souls wish to board it, but they're forbidden because they're sinners. Suicides.
Those who take their own lives cannot cross to the other side. Their spirits find no rest and wander among the living. But one suicide from the 1960s was determined to join the departed. To cross the river, he decided to build a bridge. He must assemble a crew of fellow suicide victims like himself.
It's almost unbelievable. Yet villagers say the deaths in this hamlet began in the 1960s after a young man took his own life. They say he was a loner and was found hanged in his own home.
What should we do now?
The whole village must pray for the souls and ask God to forgive them. These restless spirits are desperately trying to build a bridge.
A church needs to be built here.
Hard to believe, but why did the Spirit Brigade want 13-year-old Marina?
They're hungry ghosts. They need a cook. A woman who's good at it.
Does your daughter dream of becoming a chef?
Yes.
Marina loves cooking and dreams of opening a restaurant.
That's why they noticed her.
Natalia recalled that villagers spoke of a woman who dreamt of dead workers inviting her to cook for them. We managed to find a relative of that woman, who confirmed that her cousin Olena had such a dream.
My cousin had a dream. She said there were already some workers, but no cook to make food.
But in the dream, the woman refused the builders, saying she was too old to cook for an entire crew. That, Olena believes, is why they left her alive.
The spirits of the dead linger around Marina and try to take her with them. They give her commands she can't resist. That's why she was acting strangely and kept running away. She must be saved immediately.
Your daughter needs cleansing and a ritual.
The psychics returned to Natalia's home to see Marina.
Anna was reading a prayer. And I used the sound of bells to break that noose. I placed an invisible protective shield over the girl. Don't you notice her face has changed?
It has, yes. Thank you.
Always happy to help.
Thank you, thank you.